Hi guys, it's Stacy from Clothes Live On, and today we are going to be talking about relisting on Poshmark. Why you should do it, how you should do it, all of that jazz. So I am going to be focusing a lot on List Perfectly. That is what I use for all of my listings, including relisting. And for me, it is the fastest way that you can relist. They have an updated feature, which I'm going to demo for you guys, that makes relisting extremely easy. However, I know not everyone can afford List Perfectly, or maybe they just don't like it or aren't interested. And of course, I think that relisting is for everyone. So I do demo how to relist without using List Perfectly also, but List Perfectly is always going to be like my preference for that kind of thing. And if you aren't familiar with List Perfectly, I will try and put in the cards here. If I remember, I have a video about List Perfectly. I need to make an updated one, but I know they are in the beta process of adding Relove, so I want to save my updated List Perfectly video for then. But yeah, that will be coming because there are a lot of changes to List Perfectly from when I made that last video. But in general, most of that info is going to be good. But why do I relist, and why should you relist? Because you should be relisting on Poshmark. The main reason is that it puts your item in the just in category, and a lot of buyers shop exclusively in the just in category. Now, if you have luxury high-end brand items, that's especially true. I definitely know people who say that they are constantly searching just in for things like Gucci or hot brands like Rothy or Reformation. A lot of people search the just in category, so sometimes your timing just has to be right, where if they're refreshing and they see your item in the just in part of Poshmark, then they will buy your item or make an offer or whatever that is. But in general, the longer it's sat in your closet, the less likely it is to sell. I do believe that for the most part, everything sells eventually, but on Poshmark especially, a lot of your sales are kind of based on their recency. The sharing definitely helps. It puts it to, because Poshmark thankfully does sort by just shared. So sharing your items gets it to the top of search results in general, in terms of they sort it by just shared, and then you have to go in and manually do it by just in if that's how you're looking to shop. So I'm not saying that sharing doesn't help. It definitely does. You definitely should be sharing every day, but relisting is essential because items definitely get stale. I've noticed that the oldest items in my closet tend to not be getting likes anymore, not be getting offers, anything like that. They're just usually sitting there. Once I scroll to the bottom, I sort my closet by just in and then available, and I scroll to the bottom and I'll even almost be like, oh wow, yeah, I still have these items. I kind of forgot about this item almost, because I'm not sending out offers on it anymore because it's not getting likes. So I like to relist for that reason, and I have noticed from relisting that I am getting likes on items that stopped getting likes in general, so that's helpful. Since I've been doing this, I've been really focusing on relisting for the last 3 days or so. I've known about it since the whole time I've been on Poshmark, and I have done it before, but I always thought it to be too long and unnecessary when I was part-time, just because I wanted to spend my time wisely, and for me that was focusing on listing items that were completely unlisted rather than relisting items that were already available. But now that I'm full-time especially, I can put a lot more focus into this, and even if you're part-time, I think it is a good thing to do. If you have List Perfectly, it makes it so fast that there's really not a reason not to be relisting your old items. So I'm doing about 6 to 8 a day. I just scroll to the very bottom of my closet in terms of what's available, and I'm sorting it by just in, which you will again see. And then I am just taking those bottom ones and doing a few. That way it's not overwhelming, it's not daunting, it doesn't feel like a miserable thing to do in my day. And I like to do it in the morning too, so I'm fresh-faced and ready, and I haven't really dove into any other tasks. So that's when I am relisting, and it is, like I said, it's bringing in a lot of new likers, probably because it's in the just in category and people are seeing it more versus they really stopped seeing it before that. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on that. I think it increases the odds of selling. I've heard a lot of stories from people who say that it was in their closet for months and months and months, and then they relisted it and it sold like in 30 minutes. I haven't had that happen yet since I've been refocusing on relisting, but it's a pretty common occurrence. So I am more than okay with relisting some items really quickly. So let's jump over to the demo of how I relist with List Perfectly, or how you can relist without List Perfectly, the most efficient way to do it without List Perfectly. So let's do that now. Okay, so we are on Google Chrome, which if you are going to be relisting through List Perfectly, which is what I do, you need to be on Google Chrome. So I always have List Perfectly open in a tab on Google, and to relist with List Perfectly, I do it just through a tab open with Poshmark. So what you want to do is be on your closet page, and then I go to Just In. But when you do that, it's going to sort it by sold items in there too. Like, see here, I have a pair of AG jeans that are sold. So we're going to sort it to just available listings then. And from there, I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom of my closet, because I am interested personally in listing the oldest items in my closet and then working my way up. So I've already done a couple today. The things that were at the very top of my Just In were actually relisted items, because I haven't listed actual brand new items today, but I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more just to show you guys how I do it. So I apologize that I'm coming up on like 600 active listings now, so I have a lot to work through. So we are here. I'm going to start this way. I will, just do a few. So I'll start with this, and I'm going to do copy to. Actually, sorry. This is for my own personal taste. I like to open the listing in a new tab so that it's going to be easier to delete it in a second here. And then I will do copy to Poshmark, which is going to bring me to the new listing page. And it will automatically copy over all of your photos. Some of the details of how I lay out my listings are different than it was on my old listing, so I'm trying to kind of update things as I go. Like, I like this to be spaced out a little bit more. But yeah, so then you are going to still have to fill in these categories, even though they were already filled in before. So these are, Tory Burch shoes, and I can decide if I'm going to lower the price. I'll just make it like $75. Sometimes I do lower the price just to try and get, hopefully, some traction in. And this is now going to be in the just listed category, not only for my closet, but if anyone searches just in Tory Burch or Tory Burch shoes or anything like that, which let's just look for Tory Burch shoes. And we can go to Just In. And there's mine. It is the first one, Just In on Tory Burch shoes. And because I don't want two of this listing up, I'm going to go to the original listing and I am going to delete that. And there you go. I will just do that, and I will work my way up in my closet and list things that way. But alternatively, let's say that you, for whatever reason, like you don't have List Perfectly, not for whatever reason, you just don't have List Perfectly, but you're still wanting to relist. So you can then open your listing, and what you can do is you can drag these pictures over to your desktop. Sorry, you have to do it from there, I guess. So you can one by one click them and take them to your desktop and do it that way. I will say that this way you're going to lose some of some of the clarity of your pictures. So just keep that in mind, that the resolution's going to get not as good the more you do it this way. So I don't recommend doing it this way if you have List Perfectly, but if you don't, then of course do what you need to do. So I would, from here, leave a tab open, and then you can just copy and paste all of your info. So copy this on a new listing page. So let's go back to Poshmark, and then I would do sell on Poshmark. and I would upload these photos, but since I'm not going to do that this way because it's going to be too time consuming for me since I have that, but what I could do is I could copy in my description from before, I can copy in my title, and just do it like that. Then fill out all the stuff, upload the photos that I've dragged, and then relist it that way. It is definitely a lot slower than using List Perfectly, but of course anyone can pretty easily relist their items without having List Perfectly. I just think I wasn't really relisting a lot until I got List Perfectly, and they did this update where it's easy to like recopy your listing into Poshmark. That really gives me like all the reason in the world to relist. There's a lot of benefits and it doesn't take me a lot of time. The time factor for me is why I wasn't relisting before, just because I would rather spend the time it took me to relist an item on listing new stuff. But since now it doesn't really take much time at all, I have no reason not to be relisting my items. Alright guys, do you guys like this video? Did you find that helpful? Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this. If you like more Poshmark kind of like how-to tip teaching videos. Like I said, even if you aren't on List Perfectly, I think it's pretty easy with just the dragging the pictures and re-uploading them that way. But like I said, you will lose some of the resolution with that, but not a lot, not enough to really make a difference. I just think you don't want to be relisting the same item over and over again with those drag and drop pictures, because if you do that too often, you're losing some resolution each time. The pictures are going to eventually not be very crystal clear like you want them to. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe so you never miss another one of my videos. I upload every Monday and Friday. And that's it from me. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.